let's go ahead and take a look at my Superman Funko Pop collection here. The first one here that I want to show is the original 1938 Superman with the original Superman symbol, which you notice is different than it is today. And in a similar pose, kind of a more modern Superman with the current symbol and pose, which is also on the cape. It was not on the cape in the first version of Superman. We also have a Clark Kent here, which is probably one of my favorite Superman pop. So you can see the Superman suit underneath. Of course, we have Superman's buddy Krypto, which looks a lot like most of the Funko dog characters, whether it's Scooby-Doo or the Batman dog or other types of animals. So they kind of have the same features, but here is Krypto. Here is Superman in a flying pose. Really cool. This is one they added a little stand to give him some levitation illusion. Now, the very first Superman Funko Pop that was created was this one right here. So you can see it's a lot shorter and kind of stockier than the more detailed later versions of Superman Pop. So it kind of fits that very first Funko mold. Also, some older pops, part of the Superman family, we have Superboy and Supergirl. And this is awesome that they did this. They recently, both Comic-Con exclusives, came up with Superman Red and Superman Blue. So if you don't know what this is, definitely check out the comic books. Back in the early 2000s, Superman had some different energies and turned into a red version and a blue version. Not going to go into it here, but definitely check that out if you're interested. We also have the first Superman NFT. This is Superman from Earth 23, who is also the president of the United States in that universe. Now, some other versions of Superman that they came out with, also from the early 2000s. This is kind of the comic book long-haired Superman from Grant Morrison's run on the Justice League. Really cool with the kind of comic book darkened shadow features. Here's the Superman from the Frank Miller The Dark Knight. Here is the Superman from Superman Red Sun. Phenomenal story. And this one was the same mold as the kind of original Superman pop, just with different colors. Also, this was a deluxe Superman GameStop exclusive. Jim Lee, who works for DC now and is a very popular former artist, still does some artwork, but this was a Jim Lee inspired Superman kind of pose deluxe version. And there's also a gingerbread Superman, so they came out with a whole cookie gingerbread line. Really neat. The back doesn't have much detail, but I guess this is what a gingerbread Superman would look like. Now, from the movies, we have the Christopher Reeve version. So this was a really cool 2-pack with him and Lois Lane kind of flying and, you know, holding hands, but the pops are separate. Here's the first movie Superman from the modern era. You can see the chain link suit, again, modeled after that very first kind of pop mold. And again, a little bit more detail from the Justice League modern movie. Superman in an action flying pose, then also with the black suit. So this is from the most recent Zack Snyder Justice League movie. And what kind of video would this be if we didn't look at the Superman villains that exist? First up, we have good old Lex Luthor in his mech suit. I think there's a new version of him in his mech suit coming out soon. We also have this guy, Brainiac. Here we have another Comic-Con exclusive, Mr. Mxyzptlk, who is an imp from the 5th dimension, I believe. Not going to get too much into that, but this was really neat. So he's levitating with his legs crossed, and there's a little stand there that's holding him up. Also, another Comic-Con exclusive, we have Cyborg Superman. Really, really cool how they got this pop to come together really nicely. Now, there's also the Eradicator, which was another villain from that 90s kind of Death of Superman era. That was an NFT pop. I don't have that. Maybe sometime soon I will, but not at the moment. And last but not least, or maybe least but not last, we have Bizarro. So this is the first version of Bizarro. It was an exclusive. I like this one better than the recent one that recently had come out. It looks a little bit more boxy, the newest one does. Sometime villain, sometime just anti-hero. There he is. So if you collect Superman Funko Pops, make sure to comment below and let me know which ones you have or which ones that you're wanting to get.